Hello, welcome to week 2, which is technically in the summer semester, the second part of week 1, because like I said, we have taken the 16-week course and condensed it down to 8 weeks. So we're moving pretty quickly. You've finished your first module. Hopefully you found some success in perusing through the various discussion board posts that your peers posted. Hopefully you had an opportunity to watch the Navigating Blackboard video that I provided for you to really show you how to navigate this course specifically, but really in general, this online platform or this online classroom setting that we have to help make you a successful student as you're navigating through the college system. So that was week 1. It was due yesterday, Wednesday by 11:59 p.m. Remember, odd weeks are due on Wednesdays by 11:59 p.m. and then even weeks will be due Saturday by 11:59 p.m. So your week 2 information is due on Saturday, June 9th by 11:59 p.m. So let's just take a quick dive in. Like I said, every week I will post an announcement that kind of gives you a rundown of what you will be learning within that module so that you can better prepare for that. So week 2, you're going to be covering 2 of your chapters within your text. So you will want to take some time to read through that. This is pretty normal. So get prepared for covering usually about 40 pages per module. So we do move through the chapters, I wouldn't say really fast. I do spread it out between the 15 weeks, but it ends up being about 40 pages a week that we are covering. So in this second module, you'll be reading chapters 1 and 2, which really focus on Unit 1 is actually all about corn. And so this really talks about corn as the plant and how kind of the history behind it, as well as how corn is produced. And then you'll read chapter 2, which is all encompassing about the farm. So make sure that you read those chapters first, and then you'll want to go into your discussion board post. So your discussion board, I've given you some very specific questions that I want you to answer. You want to make sure that you're addressing all of the questions. So there's a total of 5 that directly relate to your readings within those 2 chapters. So you're going to look at the things that you can find in corn. So you'll go, I tell you to go look in your pantry or your grocery store and look at the ingredients and see if there's an item basically referenced on page 30 of your text that has corn or some form of corn within it. And then talk about whether or not that surprises you. Some people are actually surprised by the fact that corn is in a lot of various ingredients within the commodities that we buy at the grocery store. The second question talks about corn as a culture, and it really does a great job of addressing the Mexican culture and how they embrace and have utilized corn within their culture. And so really think about what you find interesting about that, and then is there kind of a 2-part to that question. Is there a culture that you identify a food item with? So one of the examples, like I said, that I use, my family is from German descent, and one of the food items that I identify with is sauerkraut. So from cabbage, cabbage I would say is a food identity that I have that's related to my culture and my background. And then question 3 really just talks about, after reading that chapter, are you just in general surprised by the history of corn? And really point out some of those specific examples that you found in the text. So it really goes way back to the Native Americans and their use of corn, and then how we as a culture have evolved with our uses of corn. So that's chapter 1. Chapter 2, you really want to focus on the farm. And so this does a really good job of looking at what farms used to look like almost 100 years ago. So Pollan refers to the 1920s a lot within this chapter and compares how farms look looked then to how they look now. So you really want to pay attention to that part of the text. And then the last question in your discussion board talks about the Naylor curve. And so you'll really want to be paying attention to that portion of the text and what that means for American farmers. So they go into a lot of detail about what the Naylor curve is and how it impacts farmers here in America. So you'll want to be able to address that. Within the module as well, there's some supplemental information. So you'll want to take a quick peek at this. So again, remember that weekly checklist up top. It gives you some ideas of what you'll be approaching for the week. So there is an article that's embedded within this that really ties in a lot to that chapter 2, talking about the farm and how farms look different. And it talks about American farmers and how suicide rates are actually the highest among that specific profession, even higher than our veterans who are returning from war and suffer from PTSD and things like that. So American farmers, the struggle is real, and they talk a little bit about why that struggle exists, and really just making ends meet for them to feed their family, and the crisis that really exists. So you're going to read or listen to that article. The quiz that you're going to take that's specific to that specific to that article. So it'll just be a quick quiz that does tie into the specifics of that article that you read. And then you're going to jump into, for the weekly information, your Let's Connect activity. So remember, like I said, every week we're going to try to tie this all together. I'm going to try to keep it related to our theme a little bit. Throughout the semester, that is going to be a little challenging, but this one is a great tie-in. So one of the tips to being a successful student is having the ability to sit down and know how to take notes. And everyone has a different learning style. So embedded within this module, there is 4 different videos that you can watch that explain different methods in which you can take notes. And so I would encourage you to view those videos. They're, between 3 and I think the longest one is like 13 minutes. So they should be some pretty quick things for you to sit down and go through, view all 4. And then once you've established that, those ideas of note-taking techniques, within this learning module, you'll see that there's a video that I've included. It's a 26-minute video that it's a PBS video that was taken from a show on PBS called Chef Driven. And the theme of this specific video is called Just Beyond the Corn Belt. So it does a great job of kind of looking at this farm to commodity, farm to plate concept. And so during that 26-minute video, I want you to practice one of these 4 different note-taking techniques that you learned about within this little module. And once you've done that, so you'll watch the video, practice your note-taking techniques, and then you're going to upload those notes. So you'll either take a picture if you decided to sketch out your notes, or if you decided to write them out, or if you're a person that likes to type out your notes, totally fine too. You just want to make sure that you're able to upload those notes for me to be able to grade them. So either take a picture of your notes and upload them under this Let's Connect note-taking assignment upload portion, or if you type them out in a Word document or do it that way, just make sure that you upload them in the same spot so that I can view those. Your notes shouldn't be more than 1 page of content, so you really want to kind of glean from those 26 minutes the things that are your takeaways, so that if you were to go back and look at those notes, you would have a frame of reference of what you learned within that 26-minute video. The last thing that I really want to make sure I point out before I say goodbye is I posted this in week 1. You really want to make sure by week 2 you have this done. So most of you have already started completing this Quid Beginning Course survey because I did open it early, but just make sure that by the end of this week, you go in and take care of that. So that is due this Saturday, June 9th by 11:59 p.m. And in order to access that, You'll scroll up to the very top, and over on the left-hand side, you're going to see a link right here that says course evaluation. And when you click on that, from a student side, you will actually see that there is a survey out there for you to complete. And that survey is this 2018 summer quid beginning survey. And as of right now, we have a 50% response rate. So 13 of you have completed that survey. You do want to make sure that you get that done though, because that is worth 10 points and is due by this Saturday at 11:59 p.m. So with that, that is week 2. This is when we really start to pick up the pace. So the week modules will follow this format. Pretty much every single module that opens from here on out, you'll have readings, you'll have your discussion board, you'll have some material that's specific to whatever connecting activity we have within the module, and all of those things are due by 11:59 p.m. on either Wednesday or Saturday. Remember, I know I've said it multiple times, but if you have questions, concerns, comments, you need help with anything, please feel free to email me. Please feel free to call. Whatever is easiest for you, stop by my office if that's easiest. I'm always happy to help. So with that, I will say congratulations on making it through the first half of week 1. Welcome to the second half of week 1. And we'll have here pretty soon, 1 week down and only 7 more to go. So have a fantastic week. I look forward to hearing from you if you need help with anything.